All right, hello enthusiasts, and welcome to another episode of the Enthusiast Experiment. This one, as all the other ones tend to be, is pretty special for me. It's actually the very first Kickstarter that I joined, and as you can see, it is the New York City Transit Authority Graphics Standards Manual. Just a really cool testament to design and the thought and care that went into designing the New York Transit system. So I'll take a second or two to go over some of the facts that's listed on the Kickstarter page. This obviously has ended, as I do have it here in my possession. First of all, this thing's freaking huge, but we'll cover that in a second. So, again, mentioned, got it on Kickstarter. I believe when I joined, it was about $118. I think their first round was a little bit cheaper than that, and then they sold out of that pretty quick. You know, the first early comers always go the fastest. It was printed in Italy. It's 364 pages, has a 12-page intro. The book was printed from high-res scans of the original. This one is hardcover cloth wrapped. The original was like a 3-ring binder kind of thing, to my understanding. And I believe it was originally supposed to be Smythe sewn binding. I'm sorry if I'm butchering that. But I believe they upgraded to hand sewn as one of the perks for getting so many people to join the drop. Or the campaign, and it's 343 millimeters squared and over 7 pounds. So again, this thing is gigantic. But those are some of the specs. I'll give you a quick look into a couple of the pages. Obviously, I'm not going to show you all of them. You can find that online. And then I'll give you a couple of my initial impressions. Not that any of this wasn't outlined or misspoken or anything like that. This is just my misinterpretations, I guess, of some of the negatives and some of the positives. So as you can see, this thing is huge. I by no means have small hands, but this guy is gigantic. Beautiful cloth bound, pretty thick there. Ugh, definitely heavy. Got that on the back. Nothing, just the book itself. But what we will do is go ahead and crack it open. Ooh. And as mentioned a second ago, in reading the specs, it is a bound book, which you can see there. It smells great. That's a weird thing, I guess, but I like that smell of printing and libraries and stuff like that. Leave a comment below if you do too. But as you can see, hopefully that comes through in the light here. You can see a couple of the holes, boom, 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 where it is a photocopy of the original 3-ring binder. Let me see if I can get one of the other pages here for you. This is really cool. Looking on the Kickstarter page, I thought this was actually going to be gloss paper, but it is flat. So that's kind of interesting, I guess. Not really, unless you're into that kind of thing. I am. I love the design. It's just really cool to see all the care and stuff that went into actually making all of this, you know, such a highly used transit system and something that's really effective and easy to pick up and know kind of where you're going and where you are. A couple of the different signs. They even do things like sketch out like what it would look like on the physical thing, so what it would look like sized correctly. It does have a couple of fold outs. Again, I don't want to give away everything in here, just to incentivize, you know, if you're interested to purchase the material, because they did do a good job. There you go, there's a good example. So you can see what it would look like on the actual space that it was intended to be presented. Let's see if I can get to a couple of the glossy pages here so you can see. I may have already passed them. I believe I did. We'll go back. Sorry, this is just such a monster. There we go. So this, as you can tell by the lighting, is a glossy page. And you can see a little bit better the color differential, where it is the original color and then the new paper. So a couple of the things that were my misunderstandings that are kind of a little bit of a bummer is I really would have liked actually just a reissue in that binder. So if they were to make the scans, punch the holes in the same locations and put it in the same exact like red, it wouldn't be a 3-ring binder, but you know, however many ring binder, that would have been really cool for me, because then it would have been almost exactly as it was. This is beautiful, don't get me wrong, in this printing on this book and bound. They did a phenomenal job. The cloth cover, all that kind of stuff. For me, I like the authenticity if it's a reissue of something as it was originally. You know, seeing the holes and stuff like that is just, for me, kind of a bummer. I don't know. Just my thoughts. And then also seeing the overlay of the original image and then having the paper be just a little bit bigger so you can kind of like really tell that it was a copy is a little bit of a bummer. I know that's dumb and nitpicky, but you know, it's just the way that I feel. And then thinking that these were going to be gloss and they're not is a little bit of a bummer, because on the pictures of it originally, it kind of looks like it was similar to the glossy paper. I don't know if it was, because obviously I don't have the original in my possession. But again, just things that I'm pointing out that seem to be different for me. Other than that, overall, the presentation is phenomenal. They did a really great job. I love the size. I love the printing. I love, obviously, the original work that was done. It's just little things like that. Super nitpicky stuff. And it does look, this is kind of weird. Some of the things look like you can kind of see the print resolution. It's not going to come up on film, unfortunately. It's just one of those things with the naked eye that it looks kind of like, you know, the MacBook and then the Retina. Like the Retina, you really can't see things. Everything's super duper smooth. This looks like the pre-Retina, barely, when you get really, really up close to it. And that could, again, just be because the printing method's back when this was originally created and they're just keeping it authentic. Just another thing to point out. Where like vectors and stuff, you know, if you do design, like vectors don't have lines. You know, you can zoom in infinitely and they're sharp and crisp. That's what I was kind of expecting these to look like. But if you look really closely, you can kind of see, not imperfections, but you know, how it was printed, I guess. But other than that, this is a great study in design. I am not a designer, but I do appreciate good design. They did, again, a great job presenting this. I think it's awesome. I just wish it was kind of in its original form, because I'm a nerd like that. Some great colors. Again, I don't want to show everything, but you know, a little teaser. These are definitely my favorite pages. I love that it has the color, and then some of them are even just labeled like black, which I love. Can't get much blacker than black, right? But yeah, it's been a look at the New York City Transit Authority Graphic Standards Manual. And I have to point out, again, the cloth cover on this is phenomenal. They did a really great job. It would be cool if I could get the binder version as well. Hope you all enjoyed this. Be sure to like and subscribe to the Enthusiast Experiment. I love hanging out with you guys, and I hope you enjoy spending time with me as well. Let me know if you have any awesome design books that you'd like me to check out, or that you'd recommend just for my personal self or for other enthusiasts. But I hope you all have a great afternoon. Thanks for swinging by, and we'll talk again soon. Bye-bye.